My name is Allison. Standing in the now silent dining room of my uncle's grand estate, I look around at the shocked faces of my family. The air is thick with disbelief and a hint of fear. My phone is still on speaker, and the voice of my CFO, Sarah, is announcing the final details of the acquisition of Sterling Enterprises, the family business that once looked down on me. The room was filled with the sound of Sarah's clear and professional voice. The purchase price is set at $2 billion, significantly over market value given their recent losses. But as you predicted, their desperation to sell before the scandal breaks made them eager to accept. I watched as the color drained from Uncle Henry's face. He was the CEO of Sterling Enterprises, a man who always thought he was in control. My cousins, Ryan and Olivia, were equally stunned. Ryan's chair toppled over as he stood up abruptly, and Olivia's wine glass slipped from her hand, shattering on the expensive tablecloth. An investor, Mr. Thompson, looked between me and my family, confusion written all over his face. I walked calmly into the dining room, phone still on speaker. Just finalizing some business, Mr. Thompson. I believe your firm signed support agreements with Nova Industries last week. Nova. Uncle Henry whispered. You're working with Nova Industries? Not exactly. I smiled, finally letting the facade drop. I am Nova Industries, founder, CEO, and as of tomorrow morning, the new owner of Sterling Enterprises. The silence that followed was deafening. It brought back a flood of memories. I remembered the countless family dinners where I was always relegated to the kitchen. My family, the wealthy and powerful Harrisons, had a long-standing business, Sterling Enterprises. My parents, who were more interested in art and travel, were considered the black sheep of the family. They were kind and gentle, but in the eyes of my uncle and cousins, they lacked the business acumen. As a child, I was always told that I didn't have what it took to be in the real business world. At family gatherings, Uncle Henry would say things like, Allison, stick to your little projects. Real business is for the big boys. Ryan and Olivia would laugh along, making me feel like an outsider. But I had a vision. In college, I developed a revolutionary software app. My family laughed at it, saying it was a waste of time. I sold that app for $50 million and used every penny to start Nova Industries. While my family was busy dismissing me, I was building a powerful private equity company. I systematically bought up Sterling Enterprises suppliers, partners, and competitors. I watched as they struggled, unaware that I was behind it all. And then came this annual family business dinner, the same event where I was always made to feel inferior. When I arrived, Aunt Grace greeted me with false warmth. Allison, we're a bit crowded here with the important guests. Why don't you sit in the kitchen? You'll be more comfortable there. I looked at the dining table where Ryan and Olivia sat with their spouses, wearing their Sterling Enterprises badges with pride. The guests were potential investors they'd been courting for months, not knowing they'd already signed with me. I sat in the kitchen, listening to their conversations. Ryan boasted about a $300 million acquisition, saying I wouldn't understand such big numbers. I suppressed a smile, thinking about the billion-dollar deals I'd closed last month alone. Then my phone buzzed. It was Sarah. She knew not to call during family events unless it was urgent. I excused myself, ignoring Aunt Grace's frown. And now, here we are at this moment of truth. In Uncle Henry's study, the explosion I'd been waiting for finally came. You manipulative little snake, Olivia hissed. How dare you embarrass us like this? Embarrass you? I perched on the edge of his desk. Like you embarrassed me for years, making me eat in the kitchen, excluding me from important meetings, treating me like a charity case? We were protecting you, Aunt Grace insisted. You weren't ready for the business world. I pulled out my phone and showed them Nova's financial reports. Current market cap, $12. $8 billion. Annual revenue, $3. $2 billion. Net profit margin, 28%. Tell me again how I wasn't ready. Ryan grabbed the phone, his hands shaking. This is impossible. You're just a small-time consultant. That was my cover, I smiled. While you were all busy looking down on me, I was building something bigger than Sterling Enterprises could ever be. I then revealed that through various shell companies, Nova already controlled the majority of Sterling Enterprises. I also told them about the financial irregularities I discovered. Unless you all resign tonight, no golden parachutes, no consulting positions, no board seats. You walk away with your shares converted to Nova stock, minority interests only, and I don't release the evidence of your creative accounting. The next morning, the headlines were exactly as I'd orchestrated. Sterling Enterprises acquired in surprise takeover by Nova Industries. Family dynasty crumbles. Entire Sterling board resigns. I sat in what used to be Uncle Henry's office, watching the stock price climb. My phone hadn't stopped buzzing since dawn. Uncle Henry, Aunt Grace, Ryan, and Olivia all called, asking me to talk, to consider family. I forwarded their calls to my legal team with a note to document the harassment. Sarah walked in with the morning briefing. The transition team is ready. Should we start with the executive floor? Yes, I smiled. Remove the mahogany paneling first. I want glass walls. Transparency will be our new policy. And replace the family portraits in the boardroom with our company values: merit, innovation, inclusion. I also put a special one in the kitchen. Success is served at every table. My assistant's voice came through the intercom. Miss Allison, your family is in the lobby. All of them. I checked the security feed. They looked different now. Disheveled, desperate. Ryan's confident smirk was gone, and Olivia's designer scarf was askew. Aunt Grace's perfect makeup couldn't hide her fear. Send them up, I said. It's time for their exit interviews. As they filed in, looking like scolded children, I knew that the tables had turned. I was no longer the girl they banished to the kitchen. I was the CEO of a powerful company, ready to show them that success isn't about where you're seated at dinner, but about owning the whole restaurant. 1 week later, I received an invitation to speak at my old business school. The topic was breaking the glass ceiling and the family china. I accepted immediately. The first line of my speech would be simple. Sometimes the best view of success isn't from the head of the table. It's from the kitchen where you can watch them choke on their own pride. Now, as I look out of the window of my new office, I know that I'm just getting started. Success is no longer a distant dream. It's in my hands, and I'm going to make sure Nova Industries thrives, leaving behind the legacy of exclusion that was Sterling Enterprises.